Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Shakil Ahmed and we are doing new secondary mathematics 2 chapter 1 direct and inverse proportion exercise 1a question number 14, and this is for class 7 or A level. So let's start. The question number 14 is the amount of voltage is needed to send a fixed amount of current through a wire is directly proportional to its resistance. So the amount of voltage is directly proportional to its resistance R. So V is directly proportional to R. They have already given us the values of R when R is equal to 6 and V is equal to 9. So then the first part is find an equation connecting V and R, where V is voltage and R is resistance, and their values are resistance is equal to R is equal to 6 and voltage V is equal to 9. So we will do the same thing. We will first find the value of first we will make an equation and then find the value of K. So by using these values of voltage is equal to 9 and resistance is equal to 6, so we will use the equation V is directly proportional to R. V is directly proportional to R, where K is constant. To find out the value of K, we will make an equation, and by taking R to the uh, left hand side, we will get V is equal to R, V upon R. K is equal to V upon R. And by putting values of V and R, we get 9 upon 6. K is equal to 9 upon 6. By dividing 9 with 6, we get the value of K, which is 1.5. And this is what we find out the value of K, which is 1.5. Now we will just put this value of K in the equation which we have already. V is equal to KR. By putting that value of K, we get the equation V is equal to 1.5 R. This is the answer of first part. Find an equation connecting V and R, and the equation is V is equal to 1.5 R, where 1.5 is the value of K constant. So now we will move to the second part and third part of this question. The second part of this question is find the value of V when R is equal to 15. Now we will use the same equation which we find in our first part, V is equal to 1.5 R, and we will just put the value of R here and get the value of V. V is equal to 1.5 into the value which is given in the question is 15. The value of R is given in the question is 15. By putting that value in this equation, we get V is equal to 1.5 into 15, and by multiplying 1.5 with 15, we get our answer of this part, which is V is equal to 25.5. And this is the answer of our this second part of this question. Find the value of V when R is equal to 15. Now we will move to the next part of this question, which is calculate the value of r when v is equal to 15. This is the third part of this question. We have to find out here the value of r, and they have given us the value of v, which is 15. Now we have to change the equation, because in this part we have to find out the value of r. So for r we will first make an equation, and the equation will be the equation we get in first part was v is equal to 1.5 r. Now by taking r to the left hand side, we get by taking, sorry, 1.5, the value of k 1.5 to the left hand side, we find out the equation for r, which is r is equal to v upon 1.5. Now this is the equation we will use to find out the value of R, resistance. Now by putting the value of V, which is given in this part here, V is equal to 15. By putting this value of V in the equation, we get R is equal to 15 upon 1.5. Now when will we divide 15 with 1.5, we get the value of r, which is r is equal to 10. This is how we find out the value of r, and already in part 2 we found the value of v. So these are the answers of these two parts, second and third. Now we will move to the last part of this question, which is now this is the fourth part of this question. In this question they are asking, they draw a graph of v against r. For this purpose we have made a graph, and the graph is, you can see in this graph we have taken the values of r at x-axis, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then uh, these are the values of on this right x-axis. Okay, where r is equal to they have already given us r is equal to 6 in the question. R is equal to 6 in question, so we have wrote these values in the x-axis up to 7, and then we have already written the values of y-axis. On this y-axis we have written the values of voltage V, which is starting from 1 to 10. The value which is given in the question is 9. Then we just drawn an line starting from this point here, the bisecting point where both the lines are bisect each other. We started from here and ended where the both values are cutting each other here at 6 and at 9. These are the values they have given us, 6 and 9. We have drawn this line starting from 0 to the where both the axes are cutting each other. This is the graph of V against R. So this is the answer of fourth part of this question. From my side, that's all. Please subscribe my channel and visit my website. You will find more information on my website. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.